Okay, and now the moon. So the moon in astrology is, well, first and foremost, whereas the king, whereas the sun was the king, it's only logical that the king has a queen, and that's in a sense where the moon comes into play. Whereas the sun is our actions, the moon is our reaction. Through someone's natal chart moon, you can see how they are emotionally, like what their emotional nature is, how they respond or react or respond to external stimulation. And the house would simply show where we are most comfortable, like where we feel most home at. The sign in which the moon is in would also show us how this person is in private. The moon, in a sense, is like, I want to say it's how we see ourselves, but you see on the moon, it's the inner child within us. The moon is the side of us that not everyone gets to see. Only the people closest to us get to experience our moon. The moon is, in a sense, our unconscious mind or subconscious mind, simply because the moon isn't particularly guarded or protected. Like when you're in private with someone and they're experiencing the moon, this is where vulnerability is, in a sense. The moon represents our inner child. The moon, in a sense, it represents our inner child, so this is kind of, in a sense, where all of our wounds and our traumas and things of that nature are. The moon is also a natural hardware, in a sense. It said that, the moon is where all of our shit is stored, like all of our past life events, all of our previous events, emotional events, crazy traumas, deaths, and things of that nature are all stored in the moon. The moon, in a sense, you can kind of say recycling, a previous life for this new experience. You can kind of say, um, the sun is the now. The sun is a nowist planet. It's about experiencing the now. It's about shining light onto the now. The moon is the memory. The moon is the emotion. The moon is when we are, reminiscing, or when we are thinking of the past, feeling the past, we are tapping into our moon. The moon can trap us into the past, we can, because its emotions, the moon can, like I said, trap us into the past, and, we can stay stagnated, in a sense, when we're in the moon. The moon is an irrational planet. It's intuitive. It's feminine in nature. When you are positively utilizing the moon, you are someone who is very creative, adaptable, breed self-analytical. I forgot the other word. Adaptable, self-analytical, intuitive, and things of that nature. Now, yeah, when you are not in the best terms of the moon, then you are more someone who is moody, someone who is irrational, and things of that nature. So the moon being a water sign, a water planet, it is most happy and exalted when it's in water. When it's in Cancer, it's at home, it's cool. And I feel like when it's in Pisces, it's also okay. When it's in Scorpio too. But the thing about this is I feel like the degrees are varying. Like when it's in Cancer, it's like the moon is on the boat and it's floating through the water. And now when it's in like Scorpio, it just went. it can, experience a lot of trauma, not trauma, but like, yeah, trauma too, but just like crazy emotions and like um bipolarism and mood swings and things of that nature. Yes, the moon also, it represents mood swing, bipolarism, split personalities and things of that nature, because the moon, just as the moon goes through many phases, this just represents that the moon and of itself has multiple faces, I guess you can say. Um, the moon is like, it is the inner child, but it's also the inner mother. The moon is like our vulnerable aspects, what the aspects, our flaws and things of that nature, things that are personal to us. When we see the moon, in a sense, is also how we nurture ourselves. It's how we feel secure. The moon is how one attains. I guess you can also say emotional security and stability, but just security in general. Like for instance, when we are going through something, or yeah, when we were going through something, like let's say you are stressed, we tend to fall into the moon, like our moon sign. The moon sign represents how we are emotionally, like how the sign is like how, so this the planet is what we are doing, the sign is how we are doing it, and then the house would be where we're doing it. So the sign is just how you react, how you are in your emotional nature, but it's also how you are behind doors in private. It's how you are in your home. It's how you are when you are comfortable. Now the house where the moon is would represent where you are most comfortable, like where you are most at home, like where you feel most at home at, and things of that nature. So with me having my moon in the third house, I definitely do indeed feel more at home and more comfortable when I am, well, surrounded by people for one, or when I am like out in the community and have like friends and family around me and things of that nature. And I guess in a sense you can say at school too, kind of, but just like simply when I'm in a community, like in my neighbor, and this is a true community, like this is where I'm most at home and feel most at home at. um and the moon, the moon is an intuitive planet. The moon is irrational, like I said. The moon is also a habitual planet. So, when you do things you shouldn't do, like when you maybe fall back into doing drugs, or maybe ring up an ex for comfortability, like you shouldn't do it, but you do it because you want to feel secure, safe, and nurtured, and things of that nature. This is the moon, the moon is that, and the sign would indicate your nature, of the moon, and how you are emotionally and things of that nature. I also offer readings, so if you guys would be interested to, understanding more in depth as to your moon and reacts, how your moon reacts with your other planets and things of that nature, then of course you can hit me up and I got you with the reading. Also, like when the moon in a sense is like the inner self. It's the inner child trying to connect with the outer world, because it's through our sun that we connect to the outer world. So the aspect between the sun and the moon really, really determines how we are expressed and how we express ourselves, and how clear we can be and how understandable our messages get through to other people. So when you feel like you know what you want to say, you just don't know how to say it, this is your moon trying to get to your sun sign. This is your moon trying to express itself. But the sun is not particularly in cooperation, Or, when you feel like you said something but you were misunderstood, this is your moon not yet to express itself clearly enough. The moon is creativity, it's imagination, it's intuition, and things of that nature. Things of like music, literature, writing, poetry, Oh, music, like I said, art, and things of this nature, beautiful paintings and things of this nature, these are all the moon, you know? Yeah, the moon. But, I think that might be it. Here, let me look at my notes, just in case I might have some other things I can throw up in that bitch. So the moon is the mother, like I said. So when the moon's nature is responsive, this is how we respond to the world. The moon is also a reflective sign, like this is how we reflect internally, but sometimes also externally. But the moon can also be, so I said responsive and reflective. Holy shit, I don't know where I'm at. But it can also be, it can be reflective, receptive. So when we are receiving someone, we are also tapping into our moon. The moon is a motherly energy, The moon is the mother. The moon, in a sense, is how we nurture. It's also, yes, it's also how we nurture others, and things of that nature. It's how we, the moon also, they said, speaks volumes when it comes to relationships, like it is very important to understand where you and this person stand, like synastry wise when it comes to the moon. Like the moon is one of the most important things also when it comes to synastry readings or like relationship readings, like the aspect, if even if there is like an aspect between the moon, your moon and another person's moon is of great detail and of great importance as well, because the moon is our inner self. It's like our inner it's our inner nature, it's our inner personality. Like this is who we are in private, But yes, this has been my interpretation on the moon, I wanna say. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you liked it, you can share, subscribe, and things of that nature. And like they say, namaste.